As if they don't have too much on their plates. The Kings of Combat Sports Podcast, John and Wai. They talk about the things they did that day. They'll analyze the work of Triple H. Rewind to SmackDown. 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 Rewind to SmackDown.
Here we are. It's John Pollock and Wai Ting. It's Super Bowl weekend. We're finally here, Wai.
So excited. Have you got your snacks and your
Water?
Jerseys?
Yeah, I got both teams just in case my pick doesn't win. I can jump teams in the third quarter.
Your truck's all loaded for your tailgate party that's happening?
Well, no, my tailgate got iced. So
yeah.
That's,
okay. We're gonna meet up to watch Kid Rock though, aren't we? Still gonna do that?
I don't think we will be. No,
Okay.
we're not. I cannot wait for the culture war online Monday for which halftime show was better. That should be a lot of fun, a lot of reason takes and
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, we're very excited for the Super Bowl. Who do you have picked?
Who's playing?
We got the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And the Patriots.
Okay. You know what? The first one.
Have you seen any of the Anthropic ads?
I've not seen the ads. I've heard about the story. Yeah.
Oh wow. I've watched two. I think they bought 4 Super Bowl ads. I've seen 2 of them. I can't imagine anyone else.
So this is the new thing where like you don't actually have to tune into the Super Bowl to catch.
No, they
the
always
commercial.
now they release them in advance, which is part of the buzz right there. That
Yeah.
like Anthropic, whatever they have paid for these ads, they have earned it in brand value for the last couple of days. But they have made these ads knocking ChatGPT that AI is accepting ads, not Claude, and they've just put these great ads together. Like one is like conducting a therapy session, and in the middle of the therapy session, like an ad gets inserted. They're really well done ads. Not to say that I wouldn't have my concerns about Claude in the long term, but I think like these are the kinds of ads that are going to have a lot of impact on people.
Certainly, yeah. Get ready for this war. This war between various AI brands and like AI brands positioning one as the good guy AI brand versus the other being the bad guy AI brand. This is only going to be a bigger topic of debate as time goes on. Isn't there another commercial that is entirely AI generated? Like,
I'm sure there is. I don't know.
Yeah, like just even that as a sort of like controversial, talking point to get people like interested in that particular product, which I don't even care to mention right now. But sure. Okay.
Well, tonight's SmackDown took place from the Spectrum Center, Charlotte, North Carolina. We had WrestleTix count of 9,632 tickets distributed. Last time they were here, February of last year for Raw, 14,616, down 34% this time. Wai, what happened? Where was everyone in Charlotte for this big SmackDown after the Royal Rumble in comparison to last year?
Well, I have no idea because it's not like they haven't had a good string of, attendances recently. But what accounts for this particular drop? Are tickets more expensive this time than they were last time?
Maybe we should, we have our own AI system on Rewind to SmackDown. Let's ask Shapir AI why there were 34% less people.
Shared experiences, communal, get the phone going.
That's what was going on, yeah.
All right.
The man was on Radio Row today, and was John Pollock listening? Yes, he was, okay?
No, I can't wait. All right. Some new additions. To the soundboard.
Had to spice things up. It's nothing more enjoyable. By the way, Pat McAfee didn't get around to asking Ari Emanuel about who's this person in your family that might have been stealing stuff at the UFC headquarters. That question didn't come up.
No, surprise. Maybe he'll get to it next time.
Yeah. It kind of dawns on you watching these interviews of like, who are these interviews for? Like, they're not for fans. They're not like, who is tuning into here like, rich dudes talking about how rich they are and how profitable their businesses are. Like, this is just like, you guys are turning the camera on, but this is just like a conversation for the three of you here with Pat McAfee, with Mark Shapiro, and Ari Emanuel.
I mean, You're still interested. You're still interested in like perhaps some nugget of actual relevant information squeezing through this friendly conversation, right? And that's as much as these guys are going to give. They're not going to like what's in their interest to give a deep dive, investigative, confrontational interview with somebody.
I'm just asking, like, is there that grand desire of people? Like, it just feels
people want to hear people that are powerful and like in control of the things that they like. I believe that.
Well, Drew McIntyre probably didn't feel too powerful after Monday's Raw, and tonight was the tease of the rebuttal, and we would eventually get the rebuttal, but boy, do we have some stuff to get through. Drew starts the show, and he gets jumped by Cody, and they're separated by officials, and it's huffing and puffing Cody promo mode as he gets onto the mic.
Boy, was this ever
this is one for the annals of time.
Oh,
Cody warns that things will never be the same after you eliminated me. And he says, for the first time in good conscience, I cannot point at that WrestleMania sign. Oh, man. My heart broke. This poor man can't point to the sign in good conscience because he doesn't have a match for WrestleMania. I really hope he gets booked. He says, everyone knows what I mean to WrestleMania. And they said it would be a measuring contest. Can't get too filthy here on the USA Network. And he said, they're glad it's not a blank measuring contest because I wasn't given the nickname Raheem for no reason. Now, let's do a little Cody history lesson here. You're right. He was not given the nickname Raheem for no reason. He was given the nickname Raheem because he cut one of the most out of touch promos in recent history for a pro wrestler in 2021 for a match with Anthony Ogogo, where Cody somehow tied in this match on pay-per-view with the birth of his daughter to the elimination of racism. And that is how he acquired the nickname Raheem.
Sure.
And somehow he has turned this into, I've got a big dick.
Which I thought was an awesome way of turning that into this line. I mean, this is a very self-aware Cody Rhodes promo. And I thought this was the type of Cody Rhodes promo that told you that they don't really have any plans of turning this guy heel anytime soon, because a heel would not cut such a promo that is he's bragging about his dick size in a really, really funny way that references, what is now a bit of a meme, attached to him coming off of that Ogogo promo. And I just thought this was like not the type of Boy Scouty type of like speech that you would expect from Cody that has maybe at this point kind of turned a section of the audience on him. This is the type of Cody promo that makes you want to cheer for this guy, because I thought this was an awesome line.
We had very different takes about this. I found this very cringeworthy myself.
You didn't like this line. Why? Simply what? Because you thought it was hiding from the Ogogo thing?
Not so much hiding from the Ogogo thing. I mean, it is quite the interpretation of the origin story of this nickname.
He's just trying to. He knows why people call him Raheem, or in our NWA podcast friend's case, Devontae, which I kind of like more than Raheem, but okay, whatever. He's aware. He's just kind of like joking about it, or at least like using it to support his promo in a fun way.
Well, I will say that. Cody's attempt here during Black History Month, I don't know if it quite landed with me, but we will let the people be the judges here of Cody and whatever he's packing.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
If this was another era of WWE, we would be getting a dick measuring contest in the lead up to WrestleMania. That could replace the contract signing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they could have built WrestleMania around that, I'm sure. At some point.
The only promo that you're going to hear, dick measuring contest, pointing to the WrestleMania sign, Raheem, and then name dropping Manny Fernandez and Arn Anderson, who were apparently fighting in the waiting room because Cody was born down the street here in Charlotte. And that Drew's shame is going to be his downfall because you're not going to make it to WrestleMania, which would kind of leave Cody with fewer options for WrestleMania. He should hope that Drew is going to make it to WrestleMania, because I mean, it's looking a lot less attractive on the SmackDown side if you don't have Drew to be your partner at WrestleMania.
Well, I guess he'd want to face somebody else at WrestleMania.
Anyone. Could be him and Trick Williams.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. But Sorry, you done with the recap? Is there more?
That was it.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
Well, number one, I mean, again, I love the Raheem line. You did not. What do you think? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you thought. I also thought it was significant that he was, obviously the first person here, Drew later on, but here the first person to throw some shade at Punk and Roman here. And I'm really glad they're solidifying this, because we're now learning that the actual feud of this year's WrestleMania isn't necessarily Roman versus Punk. It's not even Cody versus Drew. It's Roman and Punk versus Cody and Drew to contest which match will be the bigger match. And I think we all know what that's going to be. It's going to be Punk and Roman. But by simply framing this as hey, our WrestleMania main event is bigger than your WrestleMania event, it at least adds a bit of a sort of relevance to Cody versus Drew that, in being able to at least put it in the same conversation as Punk and Reigns in terms of grandeur, even if it may not live up to it, lifts up Cody and Drew, and I would say kind of draws interest in both main events as a result. It just adds a different layer, a different sort of metafictional fourth wall breaking type of layer to both WrestleMania main events that I'm certainly in favor of. And of course, I think this might be something Unreal will probably, hit on even that much harder.
Well, Roman and CM Punk, it just so happens that I saw the Netflix engagement report, and it tells me that viewers have gone down while SmackDown has been the recipient of the Dash in Cody Rhodes survey.
Ooh, brilliant. Excellent.
An AEW Cody promo about the metrics of Netflix numbers. That would be something to behold in this lead up. So we go backstage, and Kathy Kelly is with Julia and Kiana James. They're going for the tag titles. The tag titles are a stepping stone for Julia to become a triple champion. So by my count, she's holding one title now, and we're going for 3. That's the plan with Julia.
That's been their plan, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, they've got a long way to go.
They do, yeah. So, what I'd like to know is, is Kiana James, very proficient in Japanese? Is that really the gimmick? Is she supposed to be a translator? Is that the idea? Because they're letting Julia speak a lot more in Japanese, okay, and that's totally cool. At least shows some of her personality and lets her speak at least. But James is sort of in the role of translating for us what Julia is saying, and at least in story, is she supposed to be this expert level translator?
I'm going to go on a limb and say Julia is not saying anything that Kiana is repeating.
They're just interacting, but they're saying completely different things.
It would be hilarious if Julia was just giving her real thoughts on this going nowhere team.
Yeah.
All this kicks Cody Rhodes out of the building because he's got to qualify for the Elimination Chamber next week. And so Cody is gone. Rhea Ripley and Io versus Julia and Kiana James. So they had the heat on Io for 3/4 of the match. James is mocking Io, and they build up to this hot tag, and the place goes wild for Rhea Ripley. And I would say from the hot tag on, this got very good. James avoided a riptide and then powerbombs Io on top of Rhea. And then we get the 401k into the Arrivederci. Mm-hmm. The only time a talent can state that they have a 401k in this company. And then from there, Rhea makes the save, headbutt, riptide, over the moonsault, onto Julia. Let's keep in touch. It's the U.S. champion that takes the fall in this match in 11 minutes and 4 seconds. Very hot end to the match. I would say the last couple of minutes, hot tag onward. The crowd was really into this at the end, but sort of several more rocks for the stepping stone for Julia to get to that triple championship that we all envision her getting.
Someday she might get there, but interesting. And I did sense they're putting a lot of effort into spotlighting Kiana James. They gave her a pretty notable, at least beginning to the Rumble. And
she was featured much more prominently than Julia in the Rumble.
Yeah. And commentary was, at least talking her up as somebody who's more than just a manager. And I think that's all good. She looks competent.
This seems like a vehicle for Kiana beyond Julia now.
Yeah. I just wish that there was a better character explanation for why the the manager and translator is suddenly now like so good at wrestling to the point where she's outshining the person she's managing. You know, like what happened in these past few weeks? Did she just start training really hard and whatever?
Well, we can go to that backstory when she was injured for a year. Maybe we'll get some. What was she up to during that year? Maybe she went to some dojos.
Fine, sure, but like this transformation just kind of feels sudden, and again, it just points out like a real lack of chemistry between these two that I have no idea why they continue to pursue.
Ilya Dragunov meets with the Miz, and Miz tells him, you've got to use your head more and not just use brute force. I was like, this is Ilya we're talking about. Miz explains he talked to Aldis. The open challenge is closed tonight. And then Carmelo walks in and says, Miz, you don't deserve a shot, but you're going to get an ass whipping tonight. So the two are going to have a non-title match. How exciting. And Ilya is left there to literally just bite his knuckle.
Yeah, he got dressed and everything, like slicked back his hair. You know, he could have just stayed at the hotel.
You know what? I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure this is a man that takes it in stride. He doesn't seem like too angry a fellow. But this was not a busy night for Ilya Dragunov. This was his night of work, and buckle up, everyone. You're getting a non-title match coming up. I don't know why this had to be a non-title match.
Because they have some semblance of care for these fictional rankings, I guess.
But there aren't rankings. It's open challenges every week. You don't have to earn these shots.
I know, but here we're led to believe that there is some semblance of like structure to how somebody may get a title shot. And
Miz should have at least negotiated. Let's make this an eliminator bout. Carmelo would be like, a what?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, man, you haven't lived until you've watched The Miz performing during these commercial breaks. He's almost
Really?
Andrade level. Just rear chin locks, play to the crowd. Like this guy, he's preserving himself for WrestleMania 50, okay, during these commercial breaks. Hayes, as soon as the commercial ends, hits La Mystica, and then he goes for this Tope Con Hero, and it's on the side of the desk, so he doesn't have as much room to land, and he just comes straight down, and didn't look like a fun landing, but got up. The Miz hits the Brie kicks, and then Hayes stops a skull-crushing finale and hits a slingshot powerbomb, and then they get into a couple of near falls. When you know it, this is awesome. It's like they got it. Like this is just the formula that is without fail, and the crowd really enjoyed the end of this. There was a first 48 that got blocked, counters an skull-crushing finale, and then finally hits the first 48, pinning the Miz in 9 minutes and 30 seconds to defend his title in the non-title match.
I do feel like when you're watching a Miz match, like there's a lowered expectation, and I think like he in recent matches is showing that he's doing more than those expectations. Like I think he certainly in the finish here, I thought it demanded a lot more of the Miz athletically as a wrestler than we've seen for most of his career, and so I do feel like there's a bit of evolution in that department after all these years. I'm shocked that this was their first singles match together on television, you know, because this feud has been going on for so long. I mean, I believe they said the turn took place in the fall, right? So I mean, they just. It's like they forgot to do the match. They just kind of moved Carmelo on.
We've checked it off the list. We've done it.
Like by the time they got in here, I mean, it was not at all a hot match.
This really built for a future match, didn't it?
I don't.
Clean win in a non-title match.
Somehow Miz will find his way in this storyline still.
I can't wait. Yeah. Kelly interviews Tiffany Stratton. She will not be denied another Mania moment. And Chelsea and Elba walk in. They were so happy with Chelsea's gear. It's now her gimmick because she's just handing out newspapers of the Chelsea Chronicle.
Yes. I guess that's maybe an attempt at spreading fake news.
That could be it. I mean,
it's her commentary on that.
This was a rough week for newspapers, so any startups would be welcome at this point. Uncle Howdy is in the rocking chair.
Let me just say, like, when I watch Alba Fire in these segments...
What is she thinking during these segments? Like,
she's thinking, how long do I still have...
Thank God I'm here.
It's a great question, because, like, when I look at her in these segments, I see somebody whose soul has left their body. Okay, I think, like, on the one hand, she might be
I see Max Kellerman.
What?
No. I'm just saying Max Kellerman. I have the same feeling when I see him on these shows.
Sure,
So,
perhaps, yeah. Well, Max Kellerman is probably getting paid a lot more handsomely than. I mean, you know, like if you're Alpha Fire, you're probably really grateful to have the spot. But man, does she look at all inspired by what she's doing here? You know, does she feel like she should probably be doing more or something different? Is she even uniquely qualified to play this like comedic side, you know, supporting character for Chelsea Green? I just like I see
it feels as this whole newspaper gimmick takes off. It's like Chelsea is now a gimmick ahead of the old one that Elba's still in with the secret. I guess the secret Hervis is still a thing, but it just feels like visually, it's like one person is moving on and Elba's still, you know, on this old like, you know.
Well, it just really feels like she's here to like take up a spot that honestly could be given to like anybody, and you know, like that. You're happy to see somebody make a living doing this, of course, but I also feel like she could have a character that's a bit more catered towards her, and she could be living up to her potential, which is clearly not this.
Okay, playing a better character and living up to potential. Uncle Howdy, he's rocking back and forth in the rocking chair and states that they are left in the dark without the lantern. But Sikoa is scared of being left behind. He thinks that the light will keep everyone close, but it won't, because fear shows up when you're all alone. So later in the night, Solo would be looking for the MFTs and could not find them. So he's all alone, and I'm guessing Uncle Howdy killed them.
Oh yeah, I guess so. I guess that's what happened.
They're done.
At least for one night. Yeah.
Yeah, they somehow we lost them from the Tamatonga match to the main event.
Right.
They went missing.
Mm-hmm.
I
got
don't care.
sucked into this black room.
They've been sucked into something. And this tag program is it. Yeah. Let's just be honest. In these 3-hour SmackDowns, it seems that the women's tag division is going to take the forefront because God knows this men's division is on life support. Okay.
Yeah, really. And
this whole tag division is Johnny Gargano's new character,
who's not even going to be in the tag division anymore, is he?
Maybe they'll put a mask on him. He'll be El Gargano original.
Well, they already did the mask storyline.
Oh yeah, he lost the mask, so he doesn't even have a mask to hide under. Oh, it's awful. Lash legend Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton is our first Elimination Chamber qualifier. Green hits a big high cross to the floor. The crowd was very much into Chelsea Green in this match. Mm-hmm. There's chants for her. Stratton does the handspring elbows, and then there's a pop-up into a drop kick by Stratton that does not really connect with Lash, and Wade called it as such. Stratton goes for a superplex, and then tried to do like the Seth Rollins deal where he hits the superplex and then gets up into like the Falcon Arrow, but she did not complete this, whatever she was going for here at all. There were some rough patches in this match. I did sense some ring rust on Tiffany Stratton. Green goes to the top.
I've also never seen her pull off this.
No, this felt like a new attempt here to, it's one thing to hit the superplex, but then you got to do the deadlift and make it look smooth. This did not look smooth. So both Lash and Stratton are draped on the bottom rope, and Chelsea goes to the top and hits what was called a coast to coast. This was like a coast to like mid-America.
Sure.
The heartland.
I mean, having Lash like basically, like be positioned more so like halfway through the ring certainly at least helped the connection. Yeah.
Jax is out in Lash's corner and yanks Green to the floor. So Elba gets in her face and Lash gets sent into the timekeeper's area. Nia gets posted and then Chelsea gets Stratton into the ring. This crowd, they were of the belief this is Chelsea's chance. She's going to win this. She goes for the unprettier and Stratton turns it into a rolling fireman's carry into the PME and Stratton wins in 10:29. I did not think this was all that smooth of a match and felt as though, well, this is going to be Lash or Tiffany winning and protecting the one who's not winning, and Chelsea takes the fall, and that's what this was, and Tiffany's in the chamber.
Technically, it was certainly a bit messy at times, but I would say overall it still managed to be successful in keeping the crowd engaged and entertained, and for achieving its, I think, main purposes of putting the spotlight on Lash Legend coming off the Rumble, and strange to me that they would position Chelsea so hard as a babyface in this match. They gave her all the big spots here, like the big plancha to the outside, the coast-to-coast dropkick, which are entirely, I think, intentionally like babyface-friendly moves. So, like,
And the backstage segment was clearly to establish like Tiffany is the babyface here. But you're right, like they structured a lot of this for Chelsea to get like the high cross spot, the coast to coast. Like they gave her a lot, and the audience was definitely into her way more than Tiffany.
well, like, so I feel like there's an expectation anytime you put Chelsea in a title contendership type of role that the audience will probably cheer for her anyway. But to have her positioned directly against Tiffany Stratton for so much of the match really showcased how much the crowd was cheering for Chelsea and how much they favored Chelsea to win over somebody like a Tiffany Stratton, which I think does harm to Tiffany Stratton as a babyface, right? So I wondered like if there's sort of intention behind that, if they're considering turning, well, could this finally be the Chelsea Green babyface turn, or could it be a Tiffany Stratton heel turn that they might be, you know, trying to direct our feelings towards?
Maybe Michael Hayes will be Tiffany Stratton's new manager and explain to Chelsea. This is a main event female star, Chelsea. You've got a role, but it's in the pre-show.
You bring that up, but I do really like think Unreal plays some sort of important role in the way they're directing, you know, characters sort of like
even if it's not designed that way, they will play off of that stuff for sure.
And Chelsea Green across both seasons at this point is one of the more like sympathetic people that are showcased in Unreal.
Is she Gunther Steiner? You just want to see her get some points.
I don't know if Gunther Steiner is so much like sympathetic as much as he is just kind of funny, right? Like, like you kind of laugh at Gunther Steiner's misfortunes. With Chelsea Green, like you kind of like all the conversation over the past, you know, since that episode's come out has been her reacting to the fact that it's now confirmed by an executive that she has a ceiling where she's only going to be a supporting player for the rest of her career and not somebody in a breakout role.
In fairness, those are very expensive ceilings that she is getting created for. Like the woman's building her own house. Part of her story is also like, I'm rich as hell. I'm happy. I'm doing great. So
she's building a mansion with a giant man cave or toy room, I'm sure, for her husband. But like, but you also like she's positioned as somebody who's earned it, who's like worked really hard to get into this position. Nonetheless, like there's a lot of there continues to be a lot of great babyface sort of like drive from the audience to want to see her succeed, and I wonder if today was another clear step towards that solid direction.
Kelly speak with Randy Orton. He was a lot more polite with her than the last time they spoke, and he's trying to enter his 10th Elimination Chamber. Aleister Black walks in. It's like, oh, great, a live promo from Aleister. We've seen two beloved figures recently retire, John Cena and AJ Styles, but we are blessed to still have you, Randy. At least one part of you. Look, what the hell is this?
What does he mean?
I don't know, dude. Now I'm paranoid. I was like, is this another bet? Like, did I miss something here?
What part of Randy Orton has retired that he's trying to refer to?
I was as confused as Randy looked reacting to this in real time. I had no idea what he said.
Like, was this another dick reference somehow that seemed veiled? That you know, because didn't you have Zelina look down after this?
So maybe his Viper retired.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you are categorically impotent. That is the word of the week. I have assumed the role of Snake in this company, which we have sadly lost over the last few months since our vignettes.
That is correct. Yeah, I didn't make it.
I'm making Aleister Black into like German at this point. So
I'm trying to identify the origins of that particular accent, but it's better.
It's
that
me.
way.
Yeah, I was the one doing the voice there, not Aleister.
Okay.
I don't know what this was.
I thought this was a more confusing Aleister Black promo than is usual.
Yeah, this was, now that Ava's gone, he is my leading contender that will get worst on the mic this year. Like he's the front runner at this point. Not on that list. The real sympathetic figure of this company, Kit Wilson, comes out. He comes out. I want to hear this guy just do promos every week. He says, I'm Kit Wilson, and yeah, I'm the topic. He's disgusted by what he saw in the Royal Rumble. 30 chauvinistic pigs, toxic. And the man, put the yeet aside, okay? This guy has now, this is going to replace yeet, okay?
It's going to be the new what chant.
Oh, this is great.
Excellent.
Ugly meatheads, sweating, toxic, grunt, toxic, battling to see who's the biggest alpha, because I'm the true real man. You can't handle a man with confidence in his emotions, a man who moisturizes, who listens. Yeah, guys, try it. Or move your hips like this. And he starts gyrating. He calls the fans toxic.
He starts gyrating and he starts whispering, "Take me in." Like, which just really, I mean, it makes it. Wow.
I think this guy's great. And he challenges anyone who is in the Royal Rumble. And I literally had typed out Royce Keys here thinking that was the spot for him. But instead it was Oba Femi. And we had no Royce Keys on the show. I thought this was the clear-cut follow-up of Royce Keys. But instead they got Oba. And again, this Oba dance is going to be the most over thing in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. Well,
like
they're
showing crowd cutaways. Everyone's doing it. It's like the music is over. The chants are over. Like this guy is, this guy's going to be a big star for them this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought the segment was overall really great. You know, like it continues to, well, they did a great job of showcasing Oba Femi coming off the Rumble. You want him, in something like this. I guess he's still a free agent, right? Because he did the squash on Raw and did the squash on SmackDown. So
I guess so.
Still not clear where he goes. But like maybe part of the idea was that Royce Keys plays a very similar character. Like you're just talking about a big powerhouse who probably like kills people, and maybe they want to hold off on that while they continue to solidify this like Oba Femi, which brand is he going to sign type of story.
I kind of wish they had, like, now having seen it, and it was, I just feel if you debuted Hobbs in, I would say, any market in the US, I think they're going nuts for it. I kind of feel they should have held it off. If
maybe,
like, it doesn't seem like they have like some solid idea coming out of it. They wanted the surprise in the Rumble, which was fine, but that Rumble, it was more about Femi, and it does feel like Keys is kind of playing second fiddle already. Like, not that this is detrimental to him, but it just feels as though he came, and it already feels like his big arrival is kind of like it's in the past. It's over.
Well, it's only been 1 week, right? And it just might be like them wanting to really focus on him. And this week they had maybe other priorities, one of them being Oba Femi, which you can understand. But Kit Wilson was incredibly entertaining here.
He was very funny.
Yeah.
48 seconds, fall from grace, Femi wins.
Yeah.
And then R-Truth and Damian Priest are watching this backstage. Also a busy night for these two. And R-Truth is putting over Oba Femi, and then Drew walks by, bumping into Truth. Priest stands up to him and warns Drew, "You don't need any more problems." And Damian, he needs some problems. He needs something to go on here. And he was the one. He was eliminated by Royce Keys. So maybe he does something with Royce Keys.
Okay, interesting. Did you get a sense that they could be doing Priest and Drew coming off of this interaction?
Oh, for Elimination Chamber.
Or just anywhere. Because, I mean, Priest did win their feud, right? So he, as little as I actually want to see the match, I mean, I can justify it because Priest beat him in their feud, and therefore you would think is somewhat justified to challenge him.
I guess if we're looking at the Chamber, we have 2 Chamber matches. We're going to get Punk and Finn Balor. Like, maybe you put a women's match on there instead. Like, I don't know if this one happens at the pay-per-view, but I mean, this wasn't done for no reason. So yeah, I could see them at least doing this, whether it's on SmackDown or in Chicago.
Yeah. I do think they probably need a stipulation attached to it, because last you saw was the ambulance match, so they kind of need something to even best that.
Well, the ambulance was that was Aleister Black and Damian Priest.
Oh shit, you're right. What am I thinking of?
These two have their history.
Who won that feud then?
Well, Priest was the champion. He cost Drew the title at WrestleMania.
Man, I must be, man. Okay, so when was the last time?
Or he cashed in at Mania, correct?
So Saturday night's main event, they did the steel cage. And
the famous one with Jesse Ventura on commentary.
Priest beating Drew. Okay,
yeah,
so that was way back when.
It wasn't that long ago. It was May.
Yeah.
The point being, you can certainly run
Still
this back
justify
to. You got to keep these champions busy until their Mania programs take off, and this could be Drew's
Sorry, that was the Jesse Ventura cage match.
That was the
not?
famous Jesse Ventura match. Haven't heard him call a match since.
Yeah, okay.
What's he doing, the coward?
Oh, maybe Jesse can come back and call that one.
There you go.
If they have a match.
Let's do a tag. Drew comes back out to the ring, and he is determined to talk tonight when Jacob Fatu jumps him and attacks him, and Fatu would also be kicked out of the building. He, too, will be in a qualifier next week in Dallas. So what a tease for this crowd. All these guys that you can see them wrestle next week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a setup for that, and then these were pretty hot pull aparts, weren't they?
Yeah, I thought Jacob, this was a good segment that they had with him. He hit the hip attack. Nakamura and Tamatonga. Shirtless Shinsuke.
He's keeping this look, which is great. You know, they're trying to really make it seem like it's a return to King of Strong Style.
I really think this guy should have a gimmick where he posts stuff on Instagram in advance. That should be the character.
He just spoils storylines.
That should be like he just ruins stuff for people. Like he gets ahead of things.
Like he's the spoiler.
Like he gives away a Nick Aldis announcement before Aldis can announce it. He announces who's in the qualifying matches next week.
I think he should just let us know what's happening on TNA Impact tapings for the next month. You know,
I want this guy on Bella Brains where he's not asked about pop culture. He's asked about ongoing WWE storylines.
Sure.
How little he knows of what is going on the program of which he is a part of.
That could be the new gimmick. Yeah.
What's the next pay-per-view, Shinsuke?
Yeah. Well, no, seriously, he should have a fortune-telling gimmick where he could predict the outcomes of matches.
Well, guess what? When you give away a performer's retirement, let me tell you what your fortune is in this company. It's not great. Okay.
Oh, I guess yeah.
You're not getting into the Andre Battle Royal. So Nakamura, this match was a slog. He hits a sliding German, takes out JC Mateo with a baseball slide dropkick. Tama's working on the neck, so Nakamura comes back, hits the landslide, which just goes unnamed now. It's just look at that.
There it is.
Kinshasa gets stopped when Tonga Loa grabs the leg from the floor. So Tama hits cutthroat from behind, cutthroat to the front, and wins in 10 minutes and 25 seconds. So there you go. The Nakamura turn back time run has come to an end.
Well, I mean, he did lose via interference here, which, signals that they're setting up probably Nakamura bringing somebody in, perhaps somebody from New Japan Pro Wrestling to align with him.
But who's he going to feud? These guys all disappeared in the next segment. They're gone. He's going to have no one to feud with.
I have a feeling they'll come back. And I mean, as an introduction to Evil, this feels like it could be that sort of spot. Who knows who else from New Japan might be popping in at this point?
Hey, there's candidates. There's definitely candidates.
Yeah. But yeah, tonight certainly felt like a bit of a momentum killer coming off of what goodwill he's amassed via the AJ match. I mean, yeah, it wasn't a great match, but I thought it was at least okay. Was it good enough to signal that this was some sort of reinvention or at least rebirth of the King of Strong Style? I mean, certainly by the match's end, you wouldn't really get that sense.
And then we go to my favorite segment of the year. Axiom they were hanging out with some friends that they brought backstage. They didn't identify these guys.
Maybe are they wrestlers?
These guys have backstage passes? No, there's no way.
No?
So yes, this is our big return of the Motor City Machine Guns, who have gone missing, unless you're watching AAA. And we walk up, and Johnny Gargano is laid out on a production box, depressed.
That reads NXT.
Oh, for Christ's sake. I didn't even see that.
Actually, all these cases read NXT on it, so who knows if it means anything.
Gargano's like, if only. So he's all depressed because he lost Axiom's mask last week back to Axiom, and Candice LeRae is pleading for them to speak with Johnny. For Axiom are like, screw this guy. This guy's dragged our career down enough. And then the Machine Guns are left. Sabin blows it off, and then Shelley, he has to go too. This is death. It's just death. I mean,
so bad.
Tommaso Ciampa has just left this guy to perish. It's like he's flatlining, and it's like, okay, this is we signed the DNR list. He's done.
Yeah, you watch this. If you're watching both shows, this really feels like it's a case of who's still stuck in jail and who has made it, into the promised land where they can actually be themselves. Because I don't know, man. I think I'd rather be in NXT certainly than to be stuck on the SmackDown tag team division. You're not even getting a chance to wrestle. You're involved in some of the worst backstage skits.
Axiom and Nathan Frazier, like these guys are just criminally underutilized. Like these are great performers, and they're just not, at least this current cycle of programming, like they are just, I don't know. If this was combating Ricochet's social media game, then this was not the best evidence against the man. Is all I can say. I thought this was just a depressing set of like some incredibly talented people that just feel like they're all going nowhere together. Kathy Kelly speaks with Rhea and Io. Rhea's going to be in a qualifying match on Raw, but it's still going to be teaming with Io. And Jackson Legend come in, leads to a challenge, and they're going to go speak to Nick Aldis, and that match is going to happen next week on the program. I think there's a very real possibility of a title change.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess I suppose there could be. Yeah, with
I can see Rio and Io dropping the belts, and then both ending up in the chamber, and because I think Rhea's a big favorite to win the chamber, and I think they are going to. I think it makes sense to go into Mania, and the tag belts are on a heel team, and you could have like a multi-woman team. Like you have the Bellas, you have Charlotte and Alexa.
Oh my God, the Bellas versus Lash and Nia.
I wouldn't do it as just 2-on-2. I would make it multi-person. Yeah, I'd make it multi-person for those reasons. Like Lyra and Bailey. Like there's enough of a women's division that you could do a whole deal going into Mania. But
sure,
we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. Then Raquel and Liv Morgan show up, and they walk by. First, we get Kit Wilson, who's backstage selling the injuries, and walks into Matt Cardona and Apollo Crews, who he calls a protein bar with chiseled abs. And I'm not done with you yet, but first I need a warm bath. Who would have thought, Way, that 6 months ago I'd be telling you that Matt Cardona would be desperate to be working with Kit Wilson? Like, Kit Wilson is this guy's lifeline.
Oh, my God. Yeah, this might be...
and another guy who got a backstage pat. Who's this guy?
I don't know. Did he hitch a ride with the machine guns?
It's just like anyone that's been on AAA recently is just they got to go backstage here.
Yeah, here's another guy in Apollo Crews that just like, what has he been doing with the last 4 years of his life? Like what has he achieved?
Do you realize he was called up the night after Mania in 2016 to the main roster? He was called up.
10 years?
He's been on the main roster. Well, he went back to NXT for that period where he was in the diner and could see the future. But yeah, a decade since he was called up.
Oh, man, that's just like, that's this man's physical prime. And like, again, you look at him and you just think like there's just so much more potential that he should be achieving at this point. So who knows? I mean, his destination here, clearly, I don't think this is not done, without any reason. Like it looks like he will be.
He's like, as long as they don't give me the accent again, as long as I can avoid that.
Well, maybe he could join Kit Wilson, to play some role in maybe
cruise control,
toxic masculinity.
Toxic cruise.
No,
I don't know. I'll have to work on that. Aldis introduces Liv Morgan and Raquel. Liv says, I've got a big decision, but I don't have a lot of time to make it. It's like, you have 10 weeks to make it. You have plenty of time. What's the rush?
I mean, is there another time limit that
we've never established any kind of like what happens if she doesn't make the choice in time? What, she doesn't get the match?
Well, she has. Yeah, you're right. I guess I don't know. Maybe for promotional purposes, maybe that they have to print posters, and therefore, like, hey, Liv, like, can you tell us like several weeks before the chamber?
Yeah, maybe that can be incorporated. She says there's an elephant in the room. Raquel takes the mic, says, I know there's an elephant in the room. I want to address it. But before they can address it, Jade interrupts. Jade says, if you choose me, I'm going to beat your ass. And then gets into Raquel's face. I always love how the champions are like furious at the idea of being chosen. Like, do you not want to be on this show? Like, what are your aspirations as champion? Like, is the ideal scenario the night off of WrestleMania? It never makes sense for the champion to be upset about being chosen.
I guess she's not upset about being chosen. She's just like, she's like, oh, you want a piece of this? Here's why you shouldn't want a piece of this. Right?
I guess, yeah. I mean, someone's going to face you. Someone's going to want a piece of this.
Well,
it is the gig. So then she gets into Raquel's face. Liv says, I could pick Vicaire, and then Raquel could go beat you, and we'll be double champions. Jordan Grace comes out and says, well, if I can get a title match before, maybe I'll be champion at WrestleMania. I was like, how does all this work? How do you just get these title matches out of nowhere? But you know what? By the end of the show, I was proven wrong because Jordan Grace, she flew all the way to Saudi Arabia when she didn't need to. She's got a title match next week.
I mean, one is
Same with Raquel. Like
one is a
two.
WrestleMania main event. The other is a SmackDown main event. All right, and we all know the likelihood of a title change happening. You just have extra inspiration on a Mania stage, don't you?
Well, all of this somehow makes sense. We get the team up here of Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, because Nick Aldis's new rule is that if you step on the stage, you're qualified to fight. So,
yeah,
brand split be damned. I'm waiting for the next time a fan like jumps the rail. Are they allowed to be put into a match?
Probably not. No.
Okay. This one went 8 minutes and 18 seconds. We saw Jade miss and super kick her partner Grace. Then Raquel does a running boot. Jade gets out of the way, so Raquel nails Liv. And Jade and Raquel square off. The crowd is chanting for Jade, and Grace then jumps from behind, rolls up Raquel, and pins her in 8 minutes and 18 seconds, and gets her title match next week. So, not a bad week for Jordan Grace.
She, seeing her in this mix with like several established characters, I mean, it really feels like she's so, she's been underdeveloped via her introduction. I mean, you just don't really have much of a sense of like who she is right now. So certainly she needed the win if you're going to have her like challenge for the championship next week.
I guess so, yeah. This will be Jade's first title defense in 3 months next week.
My God. Wow. She, Grace still feels like a really cold challenger, and it's sort of unfortunate when talents get called up to NXT right into a spot like this, because I think you already established in the audience's minds that this is not somebody you have to take that seriously, unless she wins, which I don't think is likely.
How much time do you think this match gets next week? Because it's kind of an interesting match to see. Anytime Jade is in a big singles match, it's worth. I don't see them keeping this one short. And a lot of Jade's recent matches, they like B-Fab and such, like and Michin, like they've kept them relatively short.
Yeah, it won't be a squash. I'm predicting one commercial break, and so that would mean what, 10, 12?
Yeah, what kind of commercial break action are we going to get between these two?
Like a maybe nice chin lock. Maybe if you're feeling lucky, like a cravat.
Okay.
No,
I'll be taking notes. We'll find out what kind of a break it is.
Sure.
We get a recap. It was amazing. Like this title match that happened on Saturday, and it's not even brought up till like 10:30. It's Sami Zayn's loss to Drew McIntyre, now going 0-12 against the man. Zayn is just, man, he's like the upright version of Johnny Gargano walking in the back. And we have these geeks that walk past him. Hey, Sammy, tough loss. And then Ray Phoenix, who I'm not going to call a geek, but he's flirting with that label, tells him, Sammy, you're such a big inspiration. You prove that all of us can do it. And Trick walks in and says, this is the guy who gets into the playoffs but has no ring. It's like, man, I wish there was a team off the top of my head that I could equate to make this analogy. Some team that gets to the playoffs but never wins the big one. And he says, he's Charles Barkley. I'm Jordan. And Phoenix tells him, you've got a big mouth, and I'm going to knock your teeth out.
You didn't like that? No.
I think Phoenix's face says it all. He has a very Matt Sydal reacting to my question look here on his
Come
face.
on. This man is relatively new to the English language. Matt Sydal had his whole life, to brush up on this language, okay? So I would not put those two on an even comparison point. Yeah, they're doing the whole, I guess they've found their way into a losing streak gimmicks for Sami Zayn when we're strictly talking about the Drew McIntyre program. And usually this brings about some sort of character evolution. I mean, whatever they do with Zayn, will it be enough to continue to inspire the audience to care about him again? I don't know. I think you're certainly, like this was a risky booking decision, and they better have something
SmackDown
really good.
announces a 10-week residency in Montreal.
Maybe Zayn will put the mask back on. Okay, we had Gargano lose his, and Sami Zayn will put one back on, and he can play a completely different character from his past.
Oh my goodness. Well, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Drew finally returns, and what a return this was. He's on the desk. Cody and Fatu, he says, should be banned from the qualifying matches for attacking me like cowards. I crushed Sami's dreams, and then he addresses Monday night. When it comes to CM Punk and Roman Reigns, I was disappointed. They came off insecure, but worst, they tried to make this brand and title feel second-rate. And I called it a declaration of war, and it is, to this locker room. I was never part-time. I was here when the world shut down. This title is the title that Bruno held, and Hogan, Brett, Shawn, not Dusty Rhodes, Austin, Rock, Hunter, and you're a liar if you don't believe this is the top title. I mean, this is doing some creative lineage with the way these belts have been mixed and matched and such, but sure.
Is it not the lineage? It's still the lineage.
I feel we have put these titles together. We have broken them up. We've had different names for them.
Yes, but the dominant lineage that still remains is the Bruno one.
Okay, I guess they've had lineage issues almost to the New Japan degree, but sure, yeah. we will assign this the legacy belt. He understands why Reigns chose to face Fragile Phil, whose career could end with one more fall. And while you boys are out aura farming, I've got contenders clawing in the Elimination Chamber for a shot at the real belt. This was a complete babyface promo from Drew. Yeah. And you know what? It was kind of warranted after Monday. I think you had to do something here like this.
Of course.
Because, man, it was funny because they did a big video package recapping Monday's promo. Yeah. And it basically was left to, like, surveying the crowd. Do you want Drew or do you want Punk? No reference of this is the best show. None of the burial of Drew and stuff. Like, sometimes if you want to see like how much of a promo were they on board with, you watch the video package afterwards and you see like what is the story we want to tell here.
So yes, but I also think you're operating with a company that like wants you to think that what what Reigns and Punk said and what Drew's saying here is not what they want. They want you to think that they're going not off script, but at least like saying things that you shouldn't be hearing, John, because it's they're shooting. Or at least like, just giving you that sense, right? And we know like having it recap to us in a video package all but kind of confirms that this is what the company wants, right? They kind of want that added element of like, you're not supposed to hear this or like, we don't support this, right? So I feel like that could even be intentional, them omitting all that.
I think there's a way to invoke all of this. But I would argue that Monday it was like to what end? I thought that
to the end of driving interest in both main events at WrestleMania, because it's very clear from this promo and from the Cody promo and from the Monday promo that they're building this Raw versus SmackDown rivalry to see who could have the hotter main event, and ultimately that'll benefit both of them, benefit both nights of WrestleMania.
Well, I was glad that they had this segment for sure.
Well, it seems intentional to me that they're trying to build that up.
So we had Trick come out to watch the main event, and he spoke with Drew, worried about the wrong things, and mentions Raheem in his promo. Drew says, you need to be worried, or Trick says, you need to be worried about me because I'm going to be the one to take your title at WrestleMania. And Drew warns him to walk before he runs.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I mean, it maybe signals that Trick will find his way into the chamber somehow, if not even maybe like a TV title challenge of sorts with Drew, perhaps. But I mean, on the one hand,
I think in the chamber, like I think you want to build up like all these potentials for, like you really need to build up some of these other ones because basically you have Cody in there, and it's going to be hard to convince you of anyone else winning that match.
It's hard to convince me that Trick Williams will be in the main event of WrestleMania, or at least even a night one main event of WrestleMania anytime soon. But he continues to be the project that is there to simply benefit from being, like on the same stage as your top guys. And I think he's doing a great job of it. This too was a big babyface promo for Trick Williams, much in the same vein as last week's interview with Kathy Kelly. So if they are going to pair him against Drew, I mean, babyface direction would make sense. Although Drew just cut a big babyface promo himself, so everybody's a babyface at this point, perhaps on the show.
So the next 2 weeks, they're on Sci-Fi because of the Olympics, and they announced a lot for next week in Dallas. We're going to get the much-anticipated Ray Phoenix, Trick Williams showdown, Jade Cargill against Jordan Grace for the women's title, Rhea and Io against Nia and Lash for the tag belts, and then in qualifier matches, Alexa Bliss, Julia, and Zelina Vega, and Cody, Sami Zayn, and Jacob Fatu in the other qualifier.
Yeah, so Jacob and Cody will show down in that match, and therefore only one of those guys will enter the chamber.
Yeah, I'll do you see some workaround where I can't imagine they don't both end up in this chamber match. I think it'd be a lost opportunity not to have both of them in there. Jacob's the only other viable candidate you have.
Right. So you're
you could do the deal.
Shenanigans?
You could do the deal where, like, the whole story is Cody has no way to get to Drew, that Fatu could win this match, and Cody's the one who's got to get that last spot somehow to get into the match. I could see that.
Suggesting if they're doing like a last chance type of thing.
Something. Like the whole story is Cody, like, running out of opportunities to get to WrestleMania.
Sure. Yeah, they could.
Solo is searching for the MFTs. They've disappeared into dust. And then the Wyatt image comes across the screen, and he grabs the lantern and goes out, minus the MFTs. So where are they?
Among the Fireflies.
Maybe they just took off. They're like, we're going home.
Yeah, we're hungry. Leaving.
Solo Sikoa, Aleister Black, and Randy Orton in the qualifier to close the show. We had Solo Sikoa. He did Randy's pose during the commercial break, but then I think he realized, wait a minute, the Americans got to see this one. So he did it again later in the match, just so everyone could know, okay, he can do the pose. Aleister avoids a hip attack, lands the Meteora to Sikoa, and then Orton does the Orton comeback that the man could do blindfolded. Dumps Sikoa onto the desk twice, dumps Black onto the desk. Black kicks out from a spinning Solo, ducks a Samoan spike, and hits a PK. Orton then ducks the Black mass, hits the RKO, but Black rolls to the floor, and Orton ends up coming off the rope. He's staggering backward as Solo winds up for the spike, and without even turning, Randy just hits the RKO with his back towards Solo and pins him. 10th Elimination Chamber match. How could you deny the man his 10th Chamber match?
Yeah, he's aiming to see who can to see if he can outdo Sami Zayn's number of losses to Drew McIntyre, perhaps. I thought the match was okay. I honestly don't have that much to say about it. I thought the finish was kind of neat. You know, it's a very simple way to give us a new version of the RKO, a blinded RKO.
Yes. You know, he has eyes in the back of his head. So Randy wins. Yeah. I mean, I didn't think too much of the match, but the finish was fine. That was it. And, you know, more
at the end
importantly,
of 3 hours, I'm sorry, I don't have too many thoughts for a Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa versus Aleister Black match.
Yeah,
you know?
but I mean, a lot of these matches I found on this show, it's like they were a bit of a slog, but they'd make up for it for the closing sequence, and the crowd would get into it, and that's kind of your final impression of the match. I wasn't too blown away by this show, but I did think some of the I really enjoyed Drew's promo. I thought the promo was strong from Drew, and I would say that I think you have a great champion on this show. I think you have, something to build, like the Cody, Jacob Fatu, Drew interaction. I think all of that's great. Underneath on this show, I mean, it's some rough going once you go under the hood of SmackDown.
It's been rough for a whole year, more than that.
I just think we saw the worst of it in so many instances on this show. It really hit rock bottom for me with that backstage segment with the machine guns and Axe.
Terrible.
It was brutal, and you just see some of these talents that are just totally withering away, and with all the the shiny new toys that are getting called up and brought in, these are the expendable ones that you watch. And sadly, you watch this and you're some of these call-ups are going to end up in these spots too, inevitably.
Jordan Grace is already kind of feeling like that. She's challenging for the championship next week, but what happens to her after that? She just becomes another mid-carder on the level of a BFAB and Michin, and the tag division is in pretty in a pretty sad state. The women's mid card is also that as well with that. And if you didn't have Rhea and Io on this show, I mean there'd be no buzz whatsoever, I think, for those segments. So that continues to be a major issue. I like Cody's promo off the top. I think that like it's really interesting to me to see what they're doing in having Drew and Cody possibly like tell this sort of, like extra level of rivalry between them, their main event, and Punk and Roman's main event. So I'm curious to see where that goes.
I can see what they're doing. I would just caution against everyone knows what the bigger match is. And even if you're debating it, like to me, it's very clear what the big match of WrestleMania is. But I don't completely dismiss the idea.
But why not at least give the semblance that there's a competition there?
Because I think the audience already views SmackDown is already, I think, the perception.
Why admit that? Why admit it?
They're the ones. They're the ones that are pushing that.
But
the audience is not.
You had Drew and Cody fight back against that, right? And overall, doing it is better than not doing it, because not doing it simply admits that we're second place. Don't care about us as much as you care about the night 2 main event. Doing it at least lets you think that they're fighting for your attention.
Well, when I'm selling both shows, I feel like let's not make the night 1 main event feel like the inferior main event.
That's what they're trying to avoid by trying to.
I think that's what they're enhancing by this as well.
If they didn't do anything, then it would be that. Because let's say Punk and Reigns didn't mention SmackDown at all, we're still going to be thinking about that as the superior match, right? And not Punk and Drew, or sorry, Cody and Drew.
Yeah. On that front, concludes 3 hours of SmackDown and a show that could have used another hour.
Yeah, these are very long shows. Yes. Newsflash. I mean, we don't have to repeat that for the next 6 months. But some bright spots. They could certainly make better use of the mid card. 100%.
Do we have feedback, Way?
We do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we're going to say goodbye to everyone on the YouTube channel. We should let everyone know that on Saturday evening, Collision Course is back, as Kate from Montreal will be going through a taped edition of the show, but an interesting show.
With John Kleinchester.
John Kleinchester will be with Kate from Montreal. So it's a very good lineup for Collision on Saturday night. I'm looking forward to that show. Also, just put out for all of our Post Wrestling Cafe members is our Rewind Away show covering the career of Shinya Hashimoto, looking at several of his big matches, including ones with Hiroshi Hase, Nobuhiko Takada, with Junichiro Tenryu, Naoya Ogawa from the January 99 Tokyo Dome, and his match with Toshiaki Kawada in 2004 as well, looking at coming out of probably the most star-studded New Japan Dojo class in 1984 and rising to become the dominant draw for New Japan throughout the 90s, filling the Tokyo Dome many times over, and then the whole fallout with New Japan in 2000, what was legitimate, what was not, and then, of course, ending up in 01, which has its own interesting story of initially being a New Japan concept company and then becoming its own separate entity, which Shinya Hashimoto was at the forefront of right up until his death in 2005. So this was a really interesting, fascinating show to go through, and we had WH Park on with us for the whole show chatting about these matches.
Yeah, even if you're not necessarily drawn by the history of it all and just how important of a figure he was to Japanese professional wrestling and even modern wrestling at large, this is just an awesome collection of wrestling matches. If you're at all,
a lot of different types of matches too.
Yeah, if you're at all if you love the style of a Samoa Joe, or just I think a lot more of these sort of shoot-based realism of popular wrestlers of today, clearly Shinya Hashimoto was a major influence for a lot of that. So I would highly recommend even checking out this list of matches if you have a New Japan World account, or at the very least the very unique controversy of the Naoya Ogawa match against Shinya Hashimoto that is also in this list as well. So recommend that. And for a double dose of PCP, Premium Content Park this week, do check out the latest edition of MCU Later, Wonder Man episodes 3 and 4, where Rich and WH Park talk about a series on Disney Plus that has I think garnering pretty good buzz. So they talk about episodes 3 and 4. Next week will be coverage of the finale, the final 2 episodes. On this episode, they also talk a little bit about the Daredevil Born Again trailer for season 2.
Yeah, you could actually overdose on PCP this week because he also did Post Pro Res on Monday with Karen Peterson. So
he is rehab. for PCP.
In the post wrestling universe, the allotment, the ranking of Park, WH number 1, Chris number 2.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to say goodbye to everyone here on the Post Wrestling YouTube channel. Everyone else on the Café, hang tight because now it's time to go into your feedback and questions.